Hello, YouTube family. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Emma. If you haven't been here before, welcome. Welcome back, everyone else. I'm going to hit you with another yoga class, of course, today. That's what we do on my channel, as it suggests in the name. Let's see. Today, we are going to get started in a yogi squat. So I always try to keep things interesting, and I think people like interesting different things. So this is a pretty big posture to start in. So I have some offerings for you if it sounds overwhelming. If you'd like, you could put a block underneath your seat. If this doesn't feel good at all, you could always turn your toes a little bit in, kind of rest your stomach on your thighs, and maybe put your hands out in front of you, kind of like I'm doing right here. Otherwise, for some of us, yogi squat is a pretty easy posture to kind of drop into right away. Even though it is pretty intense on the hips, for some reason, maybe it's bone structure, this pose is quite easy for a lot of us. So I want you to try to tap in, maybe close your eyes, press your palms together, thumbs into your sternum. If it feels good, you could always rock a little bit right and left, maybe circle out your neck a little bit. Adding a block underneath your seat will alleviate some of the pressure. So if you start to feel too much, you could always put a block or bolster, blanket, whatever you need to give yourself some support. Start to deepen your breath here. Longer inhales, you might feel a little lift through the crown of your head. On your exhales, you might feel the shoulders soften, your tailbone sink down. Tuck your chin into your chest. Feel a nice stretch through the back of your neck, cervical spine. And then put your hands down on the mat, lift your hips up, and turn your toes to point forward. Standing forward fold. Make sure your feet are out pretty wide, the width of your mat. Maybe bend one knee at a time, rock your hips a little bit side to side. So as you bend the right knee, kind of rocking the hips off to the right. As you bend the left knee, rocking the hips off to the left. Relax the back of your neck completely and just start to feel some space in the lower back. One more time each way. And then we'll meet back in our standing forward fold. Squeeze your thigh muscles. Maybe walk your hands back just a little bit. Feel your tailbone lift. Try to draw the shoulders away from the ears. Bend your right knee a lot. Put your right hand down. Reach your left arm up. Big reach. Expand across your chest. Stay here or half wrap, left arm behind the back if you're ready for it. Feel the collarbones spread apart and lean a little bit to the right, like you're opening your chest towards the ceiling. And release left hand down, bend left knee, reach your right arm up. Stack shoulders. So even though you're wringing out the spine, still think about the tailbone going back and the crown of the head going forward, half wrap. So your spine's still nice and long. You're more just twisting around your spine. And release. Right hand down. Bring your feet in the width of your hips. On your inhale, lift up halfway, pull the shoulders back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. And forward fold. Step your left foot back. You'll be in a runner's lunge. You can use 2 blocks, knuckles, or fingertips. Now hold in your runner's lunge and really squeeze your thighs. Feel a little lift through your sternum, pinning the shoulders back. Kind of like up dog in the chest. Drop your back knee, half splits. Flex your right toes, walk your hands back a little bit. Your leg doesn't need to go completely straight. You can always keep a bend. Breathe into the back of the right leg where you feel the tension, the tightness. And then re-bend your right knee. Sweep both arms up, low lunge, Anjaneyasana. Take your right hand and grab your left wrist. Inhale. Exhale, lean over to the right. As you do this, I want you to really press down through the top of your left foot. So it'll help you feel more stable while also deepening the stretch on your left hip flexor. Inhale, come back up. Cactus your arms and lean back. Draw the shoulder blades together, elbows out nice and wide. And release. Hands to the mat. Step your right knee back to meet your left knee. Inhale, arch your back, look up, cow pose. Exhale, chin to chest, round your back, cat. Inhale, arch, look up. Exhale, round. And a few rounds here on your own, cat, cow. Try to find the top and the bottom of each breath. Really exaggerate the movements in your spine. And then we'll meet in a neutral tabletop position. Tuck your toes. Keep your knees nice and bent as you lift your hips up to a bear pose. Press your stomach into your thighs. Lengthen your arms. Trying to press the palms forward and down. Relax your neck completely. Look back at your feet. Think about the tailbone going up. Should feel really nice through the lower back. And then gradually work to straighten your legs, but keep your heels up. So legs straight, down dog. Heels are up off the mat. Squeeze the calves and the thighs, and then drop your heels over to the right. Press down evenly through your hands. And then start to shift forward. Keep your right hand down and reach your left arm up so you're in a side plank with the left foot staggered in front of the right. Press your hips up a bit. 3, 2, 1. Bring your left hand down so you're in a high plank position. Stack the shoulders over the wrists. Look down between your thumbs. Inhale, shift your shoulders forward as slow as you can. Bend your elbows back and lower all the way down onto your stomach. Untuck your toes. On your inhale, bind your hands behind your back and lift your chest up. So draw the shoulder blades together, firm your glutes. Feel the compression in the lower lumbar. And think knuckles away from your body. Now flip the grip and lift your legs up as well. You almost want to feel your belly button pull up and in. Draw the shoulder blades together, squeeze your back muscles. And gently release. Feet down, hands under shoulders. Roll up to a cobra pose. Roll the shoulders onto the back of your body, away from your ears. And then exhale, child's pose. Knees out nice and wide, forehead down. Take a deep breath into your waist. And exhale. Again, deep breath in. And exhale. Come forward, tabletop to downward facing dog. Hips go up and back. Drive your heels in the direction of the mat, but they don't need to touch. Fingers spread out nice and wide. Inhale, lift your right leg up behind you. Bend your right knee, stack your hips. Roll around right ankle. And then move around at the hip joint. On your next inhale, go ahead and square off your hips. Flex your right foot. Exhale, crunch. Right knee to your left elbow. Hold. Try to pull that knee up a little bit higher. Keep the shoulders square to the mat. Inhale, right leg goes up. Exhale, squeeze knee to nose. Try to create more space between the mat and your shin. As gently as possible, step to your right thumb. Keep your left hand down and reach your right arm up, twist. Feel some expansion across your chest, look up. Right hand down, walk it to the left, wide leg fold. Line your fingertips up with your toe tips, lengthen your spine. Squeeze the inner and outer thigh muscles. Feel a sinking of the crown of the head down. Inhale, lift up halfway. Turn your heels in and your toes out. We're gonna grab a goddess pose with the hands on the thighs. So almost think about pressing the knees out more, helping to externally rotate your thighs. You're gonna drop your right shoulder over towards your left knee and twist to the left. This should feel really good on your inner thighs. Kind of wring out the spine, come back through center, and go the other way. Come back through center, rise all the way up, straight legs. Turn your toes in and dive all the way down, forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Walk towards the back of your mat. Frame your left foot. You'll be in a runner's lunge. Now again, fingertips blocks or use your knuckles. And think of a little up dog in the chest. You're really squeezing the right leg. Feel the shoulders come back. Almost like you're broadening across your collarbones. And then drop your back knee, half splits. Hands can definitely walk back a tad. Flex toes. Breathe. Bend your left knee and reach both arms up. Low lunge, shoulders relax. Inner thighs squeeze. Take your left hand, grab your right wrist. Inhale, exhale to the left. Pull the belly button back towards your tailbone. And then come back up through center. Hands to the mat. Step your left knee back to meet your right knee. Last time we did cat-cow. This time, we're gonna draw big figure eights. So you're gonna rock your hips towards your right heel, over towards your left heel, up towards your right wrist, and then over towards your left wrist. So right heel, right wrist, left wrist. One more, this direction. And then as you come back towards your right heel, left heel, switch directions. So back to right heel, up to left wrist, right wrist. And then we're going left heel, left wrist, right wrist. One more, left heel, right heel. Should feel pretty nice. Left wrist, right wrist. And come back, tabletop position. Tuck your toes, lift your hips up and back, but keep your knees bent, bear pose. Should feel quite nice in the lower back. Think about hollowing out your armpits so the upper arm bones hug in. Keep your heels lifted, but work to straighten your legs. Squeeze calves, thighs, drop heels left. Even pressure in your palms. Keep the hips going up towards the ceiling. And then start to shift your shoulders forward. Lift your right hand up for side plank. So your feet are staggered. That actually helps to keep the hips more even, because a lot of times if you're gonna stack one foot on top of the other, the hips start to roll back, making it easier. And then right hand down, you're in a high plank position. As you inhale, shift forward, lower down halfway and hold. Hug the arms in for 3, 2, 1. Press back up, high plank to downward facing dog. Relax the back of your neck, spread your fingers out nice and wide. Take a big breath in and exhale. Lift your left leg up, bend your knee and stack your hips, and then roll around left ankle to start. And then move around the entire hip joint. On your next inhale, square your hips. Exhale, crunch to your right elbow and hold. Try to lift that knee up a little higher. 3, 2, 1. Left leg goes up. Crunch into your nose and hold. Try to bring the shin up, the knee up. And then take a gentle step to your left thumb. Right hand stays down, left arm to the sky. Squeeze your inner thighs, expand your chest. And left hand down, walk it to the right, wide leg fold. Line your toe tips up with your fingertips. Sink the crown of your head. And then right hand down under your nose, reach your left arm up. Now you'll notice your hips want to bump over to the left. Try to bump your hips back to the right. So you'll feel more twist through your spine. Try to stack the shoulders, look up. And then left hand down, replace the right. Right arm goes up. Now it's easy for the hips to shift to the right. Shift the hips back to the left so you feel more twist, more wringing out. Lastly, look up. And release. Right hand down. Walk towards the front of your mat. Runner's lunge. Step your left foot up to meet your right. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Rise all the way up to standing, both arms. Hands to your heart. And down by your side. On your inhale, reach both arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Squeeze as you come down. As you inhale, halfway lift. Maybe your fingers come onto your shins. Exhale, forward fold. Again, inhale, rise all the way up to stand. So just working into that forward fold. Hands to your heart and down by your side, kind of like a half sun salutation A. So instead of jumping back, we're just staying at the top of our mat. Inhale, reach both arms up and lean back. Feel the length. Exhale, forward fold, getting some spinal movements in. Halfway lift, and exhale, fold. Last time, press down, rise all the way up. Hands, heart, and down by your side. So your waist, your lower back, and your spine should feel pretty loosened up from all the twisting, forward bending, back bending we've already been doing. Inhale, reach your arms up. And exhale, take it all the way down. Halfway lift this time to prepare. Plant your hands, step or jump back, chaturanga. It'll be your first one. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. If you're going up dog, you need to squeeze your thighs, pin your shoulders back. And exhale, downward facing dog. Feel free to adjust your hands and your feet as needed. Fingers spread out, press your mat away. Inhale, lift your right leg up behind you, keep your hips square. Exhale, take a gentle step to your right thumb. Rise up, crescent warrior, reach both arms up. Knit your ribs in a little bit. Relax your shoulders. Take an inhale, look up at your hands. As you exhale, we're going to go Shiva squat with the hands to the mat. So hands to the mat in front of you. Tap your left knee to your right calf. Sit down nice and low. You're loading the weight in that right leg. And then we're going to open it up to a half moon. The right hand stays down, the left arm goes up. Stack the shoulders. Flex your left foot. Take a generous step back to warrior two. Line your right heel up with your left arch. Reach your hands in opposite directions. As you inhale, reverse triangle, but maybe your left hand will grab your right wrist like a bow and arrow. So you're kind of pulling yourself up out of your right waist. And then bend your right knee, side angle. Bring your right elbow to your right thigh and reach your left arm up. If you prefer, you could bring your left hand behind your head, kind of curl open towards the ceiling. So a lot of times I see people spiraling down. Try to spiral the chest up. Take it all the way up and around to the back of your mat for a twist. Your right hand will come down inside your left foot and reach your left arm up. Now think of stacking the shoulders, hugging the left knee in towards the midline. Bring your left hand down. Extend your right leg up behind you for standing splits. Now, the more you walk your hands forward, a little bit easier. Walking your hands back will be a little bit harder. If you'd like, you could even grab your left ankle with your left hand and maybe with your right hand, although that's kind of a lot. Step your feet together, forward fold. Bend into your knees, chair pose. Reach both arms up. If the feet together doesn't feel good, you guys know this, take them about the width of your hips. Sink a little bit lower. Take an inhale, look up at your hands. Exhale, sweep your arms back, palms face down like they're pressing into a table, and lift your left leg up behind you, warrior three. Now I like a little bend in the right knee to engage those stabilizing muscles, but I really want your left leg nice and straight. Gentle tuck of your chin. Bring your hands to your heart center as you step your left foot back to warrior one legs. So your left toes out, 45 degrees, big bend in your right knee. With the palms pressing into the sternum, just press the palms together as you reach them up over your head and look up. So they never really separated. If this is too much on the shoulders, of course you can separate your hands. Try to get that nice extra stretch through the waist. We're going to go all the way over to the left leg for Skandasana. Big bend in your left knee and flex your right toes. You can always come halfway down, hands to mat. You could take a seat on your block if you prefer. Otherwise, hands to your heart. Try to sit up nice and tall. Right toes flex for 3, 2, and 1. Pivot towards the front of your mat for runner's lunge. On your inhale, rise all the way up, crescent warrior on the other side. So your left leg is bent. Inhale, look up at your hands. As you exhale, you're going Shiva squat, hands out in front. Drive your right knee to your left calf. You're loading the weight in that left leg. Keep your left hand down, open yourself up to the right, half moon. Flex your right foot and knit your ribs in. So it's easy to let the ribs flare out here, but you want to stay nice and tight, everything engaged. Big step back with your right foot, warrior two. Take some time to adjust your feet if you need. Relax your shoulders and then straighten both legs, reverse triangle. Grab your left wrist and pull it back like a bow and arrow. And then bend your left knee, side angle. Rest the elbow on the thigh to start and maybe right hand behind your skull. Lean your torso back a little bit. Take it all the way up and around to the back of your mat. Left hand down inside your right foot and reach your right arm up. Shoulders stack, look up. Bring your right hand down, standing split. Sweep your left leg up nice and high. Folding over your right leg. Maybe the hands walk back, maybe right hand grab the ankle. 3, 2, step your feet together, forward fold. Bend into your knees, chair pose, both arms up. Sit down nice and low, take an inhale. Exhale, sweep your arms back, hover your chest, and lift your right leg up to warrior 3. Flex your foot. Think about the inner thigh going up. Bring your hands to your heart center and take a big step back with your right foot. Keep your hands at your heart. Your feet are in warrior 1, so adjust them if you need. And then pressing the palms together almost so much that they start to press upwards and gaze follows. Warrior 1 with the arms up, palms together. Take it all the way over to your right leg, skandasana. Big bend in your knee. Flex your left toes. So if your left toes start to fall in, you could always bring your hands down and lift your hips up a bit. 3, 2, pivot to the front of your mat, runner's lunge. And we're gonna move through that 1 breath per movement this time with some other options to make it a little bit more challenging for you. Inhale, reach your arms up, crescent warrior. Exhale, Shiva squat. Hands can be to the mat or to your heart center. On your inhale, open up, half moon, mat or block. On your exhale, take a step back, warrior 2. On your inhale, straighten your legs, reverse triangle with the wrist grab. Exhale, side angle. Top arm can extend if you have the space for it. Your inhale takes you all the way up and around to the back of the mat with the right hand down, twisting. Make sure you finish your breath, and then we'll go standing split. Right leg sweeps up on the inhale. Feet together, fold on the exhale. Knees bend, chair pose on your inhale. Arms back with the left leg back on the exhale. That's your warrior 3. Step your left foot back as you bring your hands to heart center. Next inhale, press the palms up and look up. On your exhale, take it to skandasana, bend your left knee, flex your right toes. On your inhale, pivot to the front of your mat and get set up. Exhale. Inhale, rise up, crescent warrior left side. Exhale, Shiva squat, hands down or heart center. Inhale, half moon, big expansion. Exhale, warrior 2, step back. Inhale, straight legs with the wrist grab, reverse triangle. Use your exhale, side angle with the top arm extending if you have the space. Big breath takes you all the way up and around to the back of your mat for a twist. Shoulders stuck. Then right hand down, standing split. That's your inhale, big sweep of the left leg. Exhale, forward fold, feet together. Inhale, chair pose, arms up. Exhale, arms back, right leg back. You're in warrior 3, balancing on your left leg. Step your right foot back as you bring your hands to your heart center. Inhale, press the palms together and up. Exhale, skandasana to the front of the mat, bend your right knee. And then pivot, runner's lunge, front of the mat. Last time, totally optional if you prefer to sit it out, grab a child's pose. Inhale, crescent warrior. Exhale, Shiva squat. Inhale, half moon. If you want the challenge, float your right fingers. Exhale, step back, warrior two. Straight legs, reverse triangle, grab your right wrist. Exhale, side angle, extend your left arm. Inhale, up and around to the back for a twist. Exhale, left hand down. Inhale, standing split, right leg up. Exhale, forward fold, feet together. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, arms back. Left leg goes back, warrior three. Step your left foot back and bring your hands to your heart. Inhale, press palms together and up. Exhale, skandasana to the front. Finish your breath. And then pivot to the front of your mat, runner. Last time, left side. Inhale, arms up, crescent. You've got this. Stay strong, Shiva squat. Inhale, half moon, maybe float left hand. Exhale, big step back, warrior two. Straight legs, grab your left wrist, reverse triangle. Exhale, side angle, right arm extending. Inhale, all the way up and around to the back. Exhale for your twist. Put that right hand down and inhale, left leg up. Exhale, feet together. Inhale, chair. Exhale, arms back. Right leg back. Step your right foot back, hands heart. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, skandasana, front mat. Bend right knee. Pivot to the front of your mat, runner. Step your right foot back, high plank. Lower down all the way to your mat. Stack your palms, rest your forehead. Let your heels fall out. Feel some space between the shoulder blades. And then bring your right knee out to the right, 90 degrees. Should feel a nice, gentle stretch. You don't need to press or do too much with the leg. Just kind of let yourself relax into it. And lift your forehead up a bit. Bring your left arm out to the left and your right hand under your right shoulder. Start to roll onto your left shoulder. Your right knee's already bent. You're just stepping it behind. Shoulder stretch. To your left arm extended, getting the stretch on the left shoulder. Head relaxed to the mat. Breathe. And slowly roll back onto your stomach. Extend left knee out to the left, 90 degrees. Stack your palms and rest your forehead. Pretty relaxed stretch here. Breathe into it. Lift your forehead up a bit. Extend your right arm out to the right, palm face down. Left hand under left shoulder. You're rolling to the right. Your left knee is already bent to step behind you. Relax your head completely. Maybe eyes closed. Just breathe into the right shoulder joint. And then slowly roll back onto your stomach. Slide hands under shoulders. Roll up cobra pose to downward facing dog, hips up and back. From your down dog, lift your right leg up, inhale, and exhale, step up towards your right thumb. Spin your left heel down, warrior one, reach both arms up. Hips square to the front, inner thigh squeeze, bind your hands behind your back. Inhale, sternum lift, chin up. Exhale, humble. Drop inside your left thigh. Let your arms fall up and over. Bump your hips a little to the left and keep squeezing that left leg, even though most of the focus is on the right leg. Release your hands to the mat, walk it to the left, wide leg fold for a moment. Walk your hands back a little bit. If you'd like, you could bind your hands behind your back or grab your feet or ankles. We'll be here for 3. Feel your kneecaps lift up, squeeze, 2. And 1, hands to your waist. Flat back, rise all the way up to stand. Turn your right toes to point to the front of your mat, warrior 2. Adjust your feet if you need. On your inhale, reverse warrior, reach up and back. Exhale, side angle. Your left arm will go up and extend. Great time to use a block inside the foot if you need it. Let's take the left arm behind the back, half wrap. Option 1, stay there. Option 2, right arm's gonna bind underneath the right thigh, grab your left wrist or your fingertips. Now the torso wants to lean forward, so try to lean the torso back a little bit. Step your left foot up just a few inches. We're going bound triangle, so work to straighten both legs. I like to look down at the right foot, but you still wanna spiral the chest open a bit to the left. Now, if you want a real challenge, you can go for bound half moon. So you're keeping this bind, starting to shift the weight into your right leg. This pose is very challenging for me and for most people. At any point, you're welcome to release to a regular half moon. Otherwise, you're keeping the bind, shifting the weight to your right leg, maybe floating your left leg up off the mat, trying it a few times for 3. Meeting in half moon when you're ready, 2. And 1, take a big step back with your left foot. We'll meet in our side angle. Bring your left hand down and drop your back knee. Straighten into your right leg, half splits. Should feel pretty nice. Half splits with the right leg forward. We're gonna come into a crooked monkey. Bend your right knee and walk the foot out a bit. Turn the toes out and bring your hand to your thigh. Stay here or reach back for your left foot. Release that left foot if you've got it. We're going side plank on the left. Roll to the outside edge of your left foot. Step your right foot back on top. Now you might notice what I mentioned earlier, how the right hip kind of likes to roll back. So you want to bring the right hip a little forward. It makes it more challenging, but more worth it for 3, 2, 1. Right hand down, slide your right knee behind your right wrist, pigeon pose. Left leg long behind you. Now, if you always just go right forward into sleeping pigeon, I encourage you to try to stay upright, even just for a few breaths. You'll see how, yes, it's the same pose, but it feels totally different when you're trying to keep your torso lifted. You'll feel more compression in your lumbar spine. You might not feel it as much in your hips, but in different places in your body. And then if that's not for you, let's go ahead and take it forward into our sleeping pigeon. Few breaths here. Probably feels pretty nice after that bound triangle or bound half moon, whatever you ended up attempting. Bound triangle is kind of the opposite, or bound half moon is the opposite of birds of paradise in that you're going for the bind, but it's the opposite foot that stays on the mat. And to me, it's a little bit harder to balance on the leg that you have a bind around. So it might feel like a familiar stretch or familiar pose, but it's kind of cool because it's something, I mean, I don't practice it often, so it's a nice challenge. Let's go ahead and walk those hands back underneath the shoulders. Tuck your right toes. I like to press back to a figure 4 down dog after pigeon pose. So crossing right ankle over left thigh, bending kind of both knees. I think it's kind of a nice stretch. Sending the hips up nice and high, and then putting the right foot down to a downward facing dog. So go for it if it feels good. Let's inhale the left leg up, and exhale, step up to your left thumb. Spin your right heel down, warrior 1, arms up. Bind hands behind back. Inhale, sternum lift, chin up. Exhale, humble. Drop inside, left thigh. Hips go a little right. Legs still super active, neck relaxed. Release hands down, walk it to the right, wide leg fold. Squeeze thighs, hands down, or grab feet, ankles. If you like to take headstand, you could take bound headstand, dropping the crown of the head to the mat, grabbing where your high pony would be, press your forearms down. Maybe you lift your legs up. You could always pause in an L shape if that feels best or more comfortable. If you're upside down, holding for 3, 2, 1, slowly starting to bring yourself back down, feet to the mat, and then bringing your hands to your waist, flat back, rise up, warrior 2 to the front of your mat. Reach your arms in opposite directions. Inhale, breath, reverse. Exhale, breath, side angle. Hand to blocker mat, inside. We're gonna half wrap right arm. Option 1, stay here. Option 2, left arm underneath, go for a bind. The further up you can grab on your right hand, the better. Start to spiral your chest back. And then maybe shortening your stance a foot or so and working to straighten into your left leg. For me, this side's way harder to straighten the leg. I like to look at that left foot. Maybe staying here or shifting weight into the left leg. Starting to lift your right leg up off the mat. So the head kind of dives down a little bit, which can be a little bit scary. Right leg lifting, shaking, eventually releasing to a regular half moon for 3, 2, 1. Big step back. We'll meet in our side angle. Bring the right hand down, square your hips, and drop your back knee, half split. Woo! It's a challenging one. Let's go crooked monkey, wiggle left foot forward, out, toes out, hand to thigh. Maybe reach for your back foot. Now that pose for me, like a lot of poses, but it's very different from side to side, probably because it's such an intense pose. You can notice any of those like micro differences in your bones or your muscles from side to side a lot more because there's so many components that go into it. Half moon is already, a challenging pose in itself. So to add a bind into it just makes you bring a lot more awareness to parts of your body. Let's go side plank on the right. Roll to outside edge right foot. You can always come down, forearms or palms. And try to stack that left hip a little bit forward so it's actually on top of the right hip. 3, 2, One, left hand down, slide left knee behind left wrist, pigeon pose. And again, trying for a few breaths to stay upright in your pigeon pose. Just to notice different sensation you might feel. It's probably a little bit more difficult, at least it is for me. And then eventually welcoming that sleeping pigeon pose. Few more breaths, pigeon. And then slowly walk hands back towards you. Roll up, or plant your hands underneath your shoulders. We're gonna go to that figure 4, down dog. Cross left ankle over right thigh, hips up and back. And release both feet down, downward facing dog. Shift forward to a tabletop. I'll have you cross your ankles behind you and take a seat back. Extend your legs forward. You might need to scoot a little bit forward on your mat. And then we're gonna lift the legs up for boat pose. This last little bit here, little bit of core burnout at the end. I know we've worked a lot this class, so try to give it your fullest effort. If you have it in you, straighten your legs out for 3, 2. The good news is we're going all the way down onto our back. 1, slow, lower, all the way down, and release. Awesome job. Now bend your knees. We're gonna grab bridge pose, which should feel pretty nice after that. Arms by your side. If you'd like a block underneath you, add it. Lift your hips up and squeeze your glutes. If you want to really feel how bridge pose should feel, you could put your block between your knees and maybe one even in between your feet, the short way, and lift your hips up. And you want to keep that inner thigh engagement the entire time while pressing the hips up. Changes the posture quite a bit. And even if you're not using a block, you can kind of use your imagination that you're having to hold something in between your knees. And slowly lower. Bring both knees into your chest. Take your arms out wide like a T or cactus shape. And then I'm going to have you take both knees over to the left and look to the right. Now really relax your inner thighs and your shoulders. I want you to feel the twist, but you don't really need to force it. So you don't need to contort your body or really focus on forcing the twist. Just kind of melt into it. And then gradually bring your knees through center. Take your knees to the right, look to the left. Again, shoulders relaxed, jaw relaxed. No need to force, just melt into it. Unwind through center. I'm going to have you hug your knees into your chest. And we're actually going to take a seated meditation today. So if you want to rock up to your seat, cross legs or anywhere else that's comfortable, you can always put a block or a bolster underneath your seat. Think about lengthening your spine up. Get comfortable. On your inhale, hug your shoulders up to your ears. On your exhale, drop your shoulders down your spine. Now see if you can close your eyes. And with each inhale breath, feel a little lift of the crown of your head up and a melt of your shoulders down. So each breath feeling a little bit taller, shoulders a little bit more relaxed. I'll guide you through a few breaths, but if you have the time, I encourage you to pause the video now, add in some extra breaths, extra meditation on your own. It's always a nice treat. Feel the heaviness through your sitting bones. Relax your inner thighs. Core's not engaged, only enough so to keep your spine sitting up tall. Kind of unclench your abdomen. Feel a softness through your shoulders and your chest. Your arms heavy by your side or hands on your knees. As you inhale, feel the inflation, the expansion, chest, lungs, belly. On your exhale, the relaxation like a wave washing over you. Inhale, expanding. Exhale, relaxing. On your next inhale, reach your arms all the way up, big expansion through the sides. Imagine you could touch the ceiling and then bring your hands to your heart center. Gentle bow of your chin into your chest. Take a big breath in. Open your mouth, exhale. Give yourself a real pat on the back or a mental pat on the back. Such good work today. Thank you so much for joining me and for sharing your energy, for trying all these funky poses and transitions. Give this video a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button if you enjoyed it. I will see you next time. Namaste.